Hello everyone. I unlocked the Ultimate Edition, which is why I have the ship here, which is the X-Wing. And I started playing the game a little bit after that, but my character is essentially 300. I do have enough here that I can get to 300, but once I did that, it just changed. Like if I go to this one, then I'm 300, and then I did update or get to rank 7 on here. So that was really one of my major goals for this expansion. But then after that, the portal changed in terms of leveling. So for example, if I go here, look at my grade is no longer an A. My reward package moved from bronze 5 to silver 1, which is good. But now that I'm going to 301, the grade dropped. So my modifiers are the same, but it doesn't give me an A ranking anymore, a grade A anymore. It dropped to a B, which means that, let's see, I've got to put more negative modifiers on here to get an A. Okay, so that's a B plus, and I'm 20 under power. Let's see, if I go 10, that's A. Yeah, I just thought that was strange. So basically, in order to get to grade A, I'm gonna have to be 30 under, and then that kicks me from, what I was at 302 for the reward. Yeah, it drops to 302, tier 2, and then it jumps to tier 3. Power level 303 gives me an extra point, but I'm at 30 below on the power level. So I'm like, do they expect us to play 30 below the combatants when we get to 300 on every mission in order to get a grade A? Because if that's the case, that's it. I mean, it feels horrible. And then if you take off one of the mods, if you take off one of the negative modifiers and you go to a negative 20, your guaranteed drops to a tier 2. So you lose a point, and then you lose a tier at B plus. That is grindy for a solo op. Like, you have to be negative 30 to get the tier 3 drop and get the 303, the extra 1 point of power level. So yeah, I because for me it's like I want to go through these as quickly as possible. And if the combatants are plus 30 or you're 30 below the combatants, that's gonna be a worse grind. The grind is gonna get worse, or is going to be worse. So now I'm at Fire Team Ops. If I go Exhibition, there's a tier 3, 303 for the power level on a drop. If I look at the, you're 30 below. Combatant power delta minus 30. Combatants are very challenging. Maximize your loadout and fire team coordination to succeed. Yeah, anytime you're like even in matchmaking and you're teaming up with people you don't know, it just when you're below 30 points compared to the enemies, it's a good chance you're gonna have teammates that drop out, like they just leave in the middle of the activity. If they get tired of having to res or be revived. You do get some positive modifiers, but just overall the negative 30, that's a bit, it seems excessive. I think it should come down 10 points because I'm not even close to 450. Like I have to get to I'm trying to get to 450. And if you have to go negative 30 when you hit 300 to get a grade A and to get a tier 3 instead of a tier 2 drop, like, do you want to grind for that long? Because you're only going to get what per run you're going to get like +2 in terms of building on your power level. It's going to give you +2. So yeah, and then the other thing is that I want to replace all of my tier 2s with tier 3s. Like this one, I got to go back into Encore to get a tier 3 of Mint Retrograde because this is already really good. But I would like to see if I can get a better roll. I got a tier 2 here. I have a lot of tier 2s in the vault. I got tier 2 here and here. So I'm just, this is a tier 1 for some weird reason, another tier 1. So I'm trying to get away from the game dropping tier 1s and 2s and get to tier 3s, but it's like I want to do something easier and quicker. When you're 30 below the delta like that, it's a drag. It's just no doubt it's a drag. And then when you go to fire team ops, because I like going into fire team ops because you get the bonus drops. Like they drop some stuff for solo. They'll give you some drops that'll be a bonus drop for solo ops when you're in fire team ops. So I like running 2 or 3 of these. But like I said, if everything has to be negative 30, because now I'm at a B for the grade and my power is 300 and the best I can get is +1 and at a tier 2 drop. And I've already got 3 negative modifiers on here, including locked equipment. So they just made it harder. And I still have So Ash and Iron dropped, and so now the cap raises to 5. I think it's 550 now since Ash and Iron dropped on Tuesday. I've still got 250 points to go to get to max power level, and at 300 they're already making it even more grindy than it already was to progress with the power climb. So I just don't know what, like, I don't know the thinking behind this at all. Because I feel like we had this conversation already. When a new season, like in the past, like say 2 years back, a new season would release, and remember they had us having to progress 50 points to get to the new hard cap or the new pinnacle cap. Back then it was 50 points, and we complained back then that 50 points was too much because of the RNG. It's a pain in the butt to level up in this game. And we were saying that every 3 months we have to go up 50 points as soon as we log into new content. So we gotta level up our character first by playing old content before we can actually play the new stuff for the new season. And so then they brought it down to 10 points. So instead of 50 points when the new season released, we would only have to, they only bumped up the pinnacle cap 10 points, right? So essentially you would have to grind 20 points to get to the pinnacle cap, right? So I thought we were done with that conversation, but we're not. Edge of Fate comes out, they reset the entire power leveling structure. We go back down to 10, we go all the way down to 10 points. And then they asked us to go to 450. So we went from, we already fixed this issue, and they brought it down to 20 points for a new release, when we were complaining when it was at 50. And then they just turned right back around and they made it way worse. So instead of 50 points having to level up to get to the pinnacle cap, we had to go 440 points up, which is just ridiculous. And then they made it more grindy than it was when we had to level up 50 points to get to the pinnacle cap in a new season. So whoever is managing the game, like, I have no idea what, I don't know what they're doing. I just don't know. And when we had to grind at 50 points, we didn't have to include all these negative modifiers onto our activities. So they just, all the way around, they made the whole thing way worse. I don't know who's in charge of managing how we're supposed to play the game or how they want us to play the game. But I feel like we've already had this conversation. They adjusted the power grind to the way that we wanted, to where we were comfortable. And then they not only reverted back, they made it way, way worse than it ever was before. So this game is gonna, I don't know how much longer I can play this game like this. It's to the point where I should just wait till December until Renegades comes out, because I already purchased the Ultimate Edition. But yeah, this is not a good feeling at all. But you guys can let me know in the comments section your feelings on it. And I know that a lot of people are playing Borderlands 4 that just came out today, I believe, but that's just not the type of game that I like to play. So I'll see what I'm gonna focus on in the next few months. All right, everybody, take care.